See how terrifying a physics teacher can become after becoming a sniper? You only hear the sound of bullets whizzing by, and the enemies fall one after another. This is the most worth-watching sniper war movie in recent years, and it's based on a true story. The protagonist is a Ukrainian physics teacher who, to escape the war, moves to the countryside with his pregnant wife. They were living an idyllic life, but bad things always come so suddenly. That day, Mykola went to school as usual, but on the way, he encountered unidentified armed men. At first, he didn't pay much attention, but when he arrived at school, the TV station reported that the war conflict has fully escalated. Mykola had a bad feeling and rushed home, only to find that the two armed men he saw earlier had disappeared. However, when he got home, he saw his wife being assaulted by two soldiers. Furious, Mykola rushed to resist, but was knocked to the ground. To prevent the situation from escalating, the two soldiers claimed they were spies, burned their house, and left without looking back. Unable to bear the humiliation, Mykola's wife picked up a stone to fight back but was shot dead by the soldiers. Faced with this sudden scene, Mykola could only hold his dying wife tightly, crying out in heart-wrenching pain. Watching his burning house, Mykola's home and hope turned to ashes. The next day, passing resistance fighters found him and helped him with his wife's funeral. Yesterday, he was dreaming of the future with his wife. Today, it was a final farewell. Mykola's heart underwent a drastic change at that moment. Seeing his once warm home turn to charcoal, Mykola was completely awakened. The resistance fighters took him back to the camp, and to avenge his wife, Mykola entered a 3-month recruit training. As a former teacher with no physical strength, Mykola struggled in every subject, especially in assembling firearms. He couldn't disassemble the gun after working on it for a long time, but none of this shook his determination for revenge. Lacking physical strength, he trained extra every night, practicing assembling firearms while others rested, until he was faster than anyone. Through this daily overload training, Mykola finally became one of the best recruits. During a sniper selection competition, Mykola amazed everyone present. Blindfolded, the instructor started the timer, and Mykola completed the disassembly and assembly of the gun in just 18 seconds.
18 секунд.
Mykola's performance not only earned everyone's respect but also caught the eye of the colonel present. He was immediately transferred to the sniper squad, but life in the sniper team was not as simple as Mykola imagined. To hone him, the instructor deliberately gave him an old sniper rifle. Faced with this unfair treatment, Mykola did not complain but trained even harder. As a former physics teacher, Mykola was sensitive to ballistic analysis and wind speed, accurately grasping all indicators. Thus, Mykola faced his first mission, quickly reaching the designated location with the captain. It was his first real battle, and the tension made him fully focus. His eyes were locked on the enemy machine gunner, not daring to relax. However, just as they were about to fire, a civilian car appeared, interrupting their plan. Mykola had to take his finger off the trigger as enemy soldiers intercepted the car and harassed a female passenger. This scene reminded Mykola of his wife, and his emotions erupted in anger, pulling the trigger to take down the enemies one by one. With this shot, Mykola completed his transformation, and his path of revenge began. On the other side, the sniper started the camera, carefully adjusting the sniper rifle's elevation. To suppress his inner tension, he picked up a small stone from the ground and put it in his mouth, as it helped him focus more. However, his every move had already fallen into the enemy sniper's sight, but he was unaware and continued to crawl forward. As he slowly crawled out of the dune, the opposing sniper fired without hesitation. Thus, this sniper was mercilessly killed by the enemy, and his body was sent back to the camp. When Mykola saw his former comrade now a cold corpse, his anger ignited instantly. He secretly vowed to eliminate the enemy snipers one by one. Soon, they received an urgent notice from headquarters that the enemy would send a sniper team to ambush them. Mykola and his comrades decided to set up an ambush on the enemy's path. They placed a large number of claymore mines on both sides of the road and used a leaf as a shooting marker. Then they hid 300 meters from the road, quietly waiting for the target to appear. As time passed, several enemy soldiers gradually came into view, and Mykola was ready to fire at any moment. When the enemy soldiers entered the ambush circle, Mykola decisively pulled the trigger, detonating the buried bombs. In the explosion, none of the enemy soldiers survived. To prevent another enemy attack, the resistance fighters dug trenches around the base. Mykola and his teammates continued to ensure the safety of their comrades in the vicinity. However, during this operation, Mykola not only disobeyed orders but also inadvertently caused the death of a comrade. While observing, Mykola spotted two enemy soldiers through the sniper scope. When he turned the scope for a closer look, he was shocked to find that the soldiers were the ones who killed his wife. Anger burned in his heart, and despite his teammates' constant reminders reminders to stay calm, as firing would expose their position. Mikola was blinded by hatred. He disengaged the sniper rifle's safety and pulled the bolt. A bullet whistled out, killing the soldier on the spot, but this shot also completely exposed their position, and the sniper who had previously killed his comrade seemed to be lurking nearby. While Mikola was still locking onto another enemy, he was unaware that the sniper had already targeted them. A bullet hit his comrade, followed by a carpet bombing on Mikola's position. Fortunately, a nearby dry ditch saved Mikola's life, but his comrade was hit in a vital spot and died instantly. Feeling immense guilt for his comrade's death due to his impulsiveness, Mikola looked at his comrade's belongings and felt deep remorse, also receiving severe reprimands from his superiors. Unable to forgive himself, Mikola secretly infiltrated the enemy camp's perimeter to avenge his comrade without his superior's knowledge. But he didn't know that the enemy's ace sniper had already set up multiple positions. Thus began a sniper battle of one against many. In the grass, the warehouse, and amidst the stench of the garbage dump, it was a life-and-death duel between three top snipers. By now, Mikola had grown into an ace sniper with the codename White Raven, while the opponent was also formidable, using an SSG 3000 sniper rifle, closely watching every small movement in the grass, searching for the White Raven. In this standoff, neither side dared to make a big move, but as time passed, the sniper hidden in the garbage dump couldn't stand the stench and planned to change positions. At this moment, Mikola noticed his movement from the grass and shot him dead. But this shot also completely exposed his position, and the mysterious sniper in the warehouse immediately fired. Fortunately, the shot only hit Mikola's arm, and he quickly shot back, killing the sniper in the warehouse. Mikola then took out a medical kit from his bag and quickly bandaged his wound. Upon returning to the base, he immediately joined the next combat meeting. The target of this operation was the ace sniper who had recently killed their comrade. According to intelligence, this sniper commonly used a Barrett 821 sniper rifle with 12.8mm armor-piercing rounds. They had already pinpointed the sniper's exact location. Due to Mikola's recent excellent performance, he was assigned full responsibility for this sniper operation. Additionally, 5 assault teams were dispatched to provide cover. The sniper team quickly reached the designated location, and the opponent had also set up tight defenses to prevent an ambush. But despite the defenses, Mikola successfully infiltrated, quickly killing 2 soldiers who were eating. Meanwhile, the snipers ambushed outside the base successfully locked onto the guards and instantly killed them all. To prevent the sniper from exposing his position, the machine gunner randomly fired at a nearby building to attract the enemy sniper's attention. At this moment, Mikola successfully killed a sniper, then switched to a handgun to advance into the base. At this point, the remaining 2 ace snipers sensed something was wrong and got up to check the situation outside. But when he reached the position of the 3rd sniper, he found his comrade had been killed and immediately sought support from the command. By then, Mikola had already sneaked in and planted a grenade at the enemy's 2nd sniper position. Meanwhile, the enemy's ace sniper, after seeking support from headquarters, quickly returned to his sniper position. Unexpectedly, Mikola descended from above, slitting the sniper's throat. At that moment, the enemy's support troops arrived, and Mikola quickly set up the Barrett, killing the enemy captain. The remaining soldiers immediately disembarked to establish a defense line, but they were already within the sniper's range and were picked off one by one. Thus, the entire squad was wiped out, and Mikola successfully completed the mission. However, he did not rejoice in victory, as the war was never over. He went to his wife's grave, reminiscing about the past, and the happiness of those times seemed increasingly distant. Through the baptism of war, Mikola transformed from a physics teacher into a sniper. His story is not only an indictment of the cruelty of war, but also a longing for peace. Each bullet that pierced the silence took away an enemy's life and an ordinary person's simplicity. Mikola's story is like a mirror, reflecting the absurdity and cruelty of war. Every bullet not only takes lives but also tears apart the bottom line of humanity. The real enemy was never the stranger across the river, but the hatred and prejudice in people's hearts. War is never the answer to solving problems. It only makes love and peace more unattainable. Behind this tragedy, how can we use dialogue and tolerance to build a world without smoke and fire?